All right, guys, it's your boy, the Art King here again. This video is going to be pertaining to the defensive aspect of boxing or kickboxing, okay? So typically when you're competing, I wouldn't recommend these types of moves because you don't want to really hurt the other person, okay? And what I mean by that is if you're sparring or something like that and you really want to you're not trying to hurt the other person just yet. You're trying to learn and build your speed and strength and agility and hand and eye coordination and everything like that. However, you're not really trying to knock that person out. Not as though you're in a competition fight. Okay. Now, if you're in competition, then yes, your goal is to knock them out. Okay. However, these rules don't apply in the street, okay? If you get out there and you feel as though that your health and well-being is in danger, these are the things that you can use to not only protect yourself, but hurt the other person at the same time, okay? So we're gonna go over blocking, head movement, and footwork, okay? Now, there's several ways to block. You have, of course, you have blocking with parrying the punches, okay? A parry is basically when you slap away the punch, okay? You can block with your hands, okay? You got your fists firmly clenched, okay? And they're blocking your face, okay? You can also use your arms, okay? So you're basically grabbing the head, and 9 times out of 10, what you're gonna do with that is just roll off the punch. So anytime you see that punch coming, you're just rolling with it, okay? If they come with a right hook, because they're facing the person, all right, the right side is going to be on this side, left side is going to be on that side, okay? When you're rolling off of a hook, it's imperative that you block, okay? Don't try to take that punch and roll off with your face because it's not going to work, okay? A lot of times that's how people get knocked out because they don't have their guard up, okay? Keep your guard up, okay? If you see that hook coming, if you think it's a hook coming, continue to block with this hand as well. But grab the back of their head and roll off that punch. Okay? There are 4 knockout points on your head. Chin, jaw, the temple, and the back of the head. Okay? If they land a clean enough punch to any one of those spots, it is a possibility that you will get knocked out. And whatever they do after that, it is what it is. Okay? You want to be able to block those punches. You want to be able to protect yourself. You want to be able to keep yourself from being seriously injured, okay? So you have the fist in front of the face. You have the parry, right? You have the arm that you can use, okay? And another technique is if you have one of those guys that you're fighting that's a machine gun puncher, just boom, 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 right? And he's continuously throwing those machine gun punches. It just seems as though he has all the stamina in the world. Okay. Now, if you're not one of those guys that guys or girls that has really effective footwork or head movement, and you're really trying to conserve energy, number one, what I would try to do is keep those elbows up. Okay, now you want to keep that gap far enough and spread enough so you can actually see what's going on. You don't want to do this because you can't see anything, okay? You want to keep it spaced out enough to where you can see exactly what's going on. If you see that they're about to throw a hook, then you can just simply block. Okay, roll off. If you see that they're about to throw another hook, then you just simply roll off. Okay, keep those hands up. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm saying use this against a machine gun puncher is because if somebody punches that elbow, okay, they're either going to sprain their wrist or they're going to break their hand. Okay, if you sprain your wrist or break your hand during a fight, you won't be able to fight anymore. Okay, now sometimes people might not feel it until after the fight or until they're trying to collect themselves and calm down and think about what they're doing. Okay, now they might be going, 50 punches a second, okay, which is totally fine. As soon as they back off and calm down and try to catch their wind, they're going to feel it, okay? They won't be able to grab you. They might not be able to even ball up their fist, okay? They won't even be able to use it, okay? If you hit it, if you tap it and it's already broken, that's excruciatingly painful to them. Okay? So it's just simple things like that that'll help you with defense. Okay? Defense is your best offense, as they say. Okay? So head movement is one of my favorite defensive go-to things, I guess. I don't know how you say it. But typically I like to keep my head and hands moving, okay? The reason why I'm saying that is because it makes you very unpredictable, okay? You got some guys who are really good at faking the jab and they coming with the straight, or faking the jab and they coming with the hook, okay? Or they might fake a straight punch and then come with the uppercut, okay? If you keep your head moving, a lot of times they won't be able to predict your movements, okay? And, you know, as far as the hands go, that's more of an offensive thing that I like to do, so I can keep them guessing. Oh, I don't know when he's going to throw the jab. You know, I'm always, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe this, okay? But you're just basically throwing little feints out there, okay? At the same time, you want to keep your hands by your face so that if you have to block, then you can do that, right? If you have to parry, then you can slap it off and move back, okay? If you have to, I don't know, grab a wrist or something like that, okay? Now, you know, that's more along the judo side, I guess, or the jiu-jitsu side that I'm thinking about. But, you know, just keeping those hands moving, right? And at the same time, keeping your head moving, okay? Right? It's okay to do these little movements. It's not really going to tire you out. I wouldn't even say that it really is a tiresome move, okay? Just keeping those hands moving and keeping that head moving, right? You want to be able to keep yourself unpredictable, okay? Don't just stand in one spot. The only reason why I'm standing in this one spot now is because I have a camera, okay? But if I were to get in an altercation, right, and, you know, I got this guy in front of me, what I'm going to do is continue to move. I can't just stay in one spot, okay? I'm going to try to move around him, and I'm also going to try to keep myself unpredictable. I think that's my boy.
I'm a practice dummy, y'all. Don't be laughing at me, all right? You understand? Let's do it.
All right, so this is my boy Casey. He's gonna be my practice dummy, as he already said. So I already explained verbally how to do it. Now I'm gonna show you guys visually how to block off jabs, straights, hooks, a few uppercuts, and then we're also gonna get into the head movement and the footwork aspect of it, okay? So I want you guys to firmly understand exactly what's going on, all right? So here we have the aspect of blocking off jabs, okay? Now, as I said before, I already explained the parry is basically slapping off the punch. So if the person throws a jab, then we basically just coming to the wrist, okay? Now, don't be scared, all right? I want you to slap that wrist off to the side. So when they throw the jab, then you just want to throw it off to the side, right? So when they throw it, then you just basically slapping it off to the side. And if they throw that straight, then you're doing the same thing, okay? Now, a lot of times, what you're gonna run into is, you know, if you don't have really good hand and eye coordination, it's perfectly fine. It's not gonna line up with the wrist, okay? But just being able to flip that, slap that fist frontward is just as effective. So if they throw that punch, right, then you just slapping it down like that, okay? Just being able to stop it is the main thing that you want to do. Now, of course, they're not going to try to hit your hand. They're going to try to hit you in your face. But that's just an example. So every time he throws that punch, then you just trying to slap it back, okay? Now, as far as the hooks go, I would highly advise moving your head out, you know, at the same time, Okay, so if they throw a right hook, then you want to move your head. All right, now that was a little too fast, but nah, you good. So if he throws that hook again, then you want to move that head. Okay, you just want to be able to knock that hand out the way. All right, and you can even use the same arm that they're using. So if they throw a right hook, and I'm using my right, then you can try to slap it out the way. Just try to stop it if you don't have fast enough head movement. Okay, it's the same thing with the left hook. If you see that coming, then you want to try to move your head out the way. Okay, so, and it's one of two reasons why I say continue to move your head and use your hands. Because if you don't move your head out the way fast enough, at least you have this to block it off. If your hand misses, then you can still move your head out the way. Okay, so that's one of the imperative things that you want to think about. So if you got that person, we're going to jump into the blocks as well, using your arms. Okay, so if you got a person throwing a punch straight to your face, right? You see how you just automatically hit my elbow? Right, now my elbow is lined up with my face, so he's aiming for my face. He's automatically going to punch my elbow. Okay, now when you do stuff like that, he's either going to break his hand or he's going to sprain his wrist. And if you got one of those machine gun punches that just and they just want to continue trying to beat on you, right? All you would have to do is keep it blocked up like that. Okay, so if you got that guy that's just doing that, right, and he's continuously trying to punch at you, right, and of course you're going to have some sort of self-defense method. Okay, now you don't want to stay in one spot. Just because he's rapidly punching at me doesn't mean that you just sit there and take the punches like this is Dragon Ball Z. That's not how that works. Okay, you also have to be aware of the fact that he could throw uppercuts. Okay, so if he's throwing those rapid punches and then he comes up just like that, all of this is split. Your whole mouth is split. Okay? So you have to be very aware. That's why I'm saying you need to move your head, move out the way. If he's throwing those rapid punches and he keeps doing that, then it's time to move, right? It's time to get up out of there. You got to move your body out the way. You got to move your head. You don't want to be a sitting target. Okay? The other aspect is protecting the 4 knockout points: the temple, the jaw, the chin, and the back of the head. Okay? Now, just by grabbing the back of the head, you're protecting all 4 parts. The shoulder is protecting the jaw, the arm, and the elbow is protecting the chin. The forearm is protecting the temple, and the back of that hand is protecting the back of that head. Okay? So if you got somebody that's throwing a hook, right? And basically all you want to do is try to roll with the punch, okay? So you want to be able to roll with the punch. If he does punch too high and he totally misses, then that's fine, okay? That's perfectly fine. You want to be able to move out the way of that punch in general, okay? I want you to aim for my jaw, right, on both sides, so it doesn't matter. So if you got that guy, right, then of course, that's going to slip right off. I would rather him hit my hand than hit me in the jaw, okay? Now, even if he hits me in my hand and it, somehow breaks or whatever, that's where my kickboxing comes in. So I might be down 1 limb, but I still got 3 more limbs to use. Actually, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I got 6 more limbs to use. So I can use my jab, my elbow, knees, kicks, all kind of stuff. So I still have a lot of weapons left. I might be down this limb and this elbow. Well, I still could actually use his elbow, actually. My hand might be hurt, but I can still use my elbow. So that's 7 in a manner, okay? So it's the same thing with both sides. If he's throwing a left hook, then you want to be able to block that off, okay? You want to be able to roll with it. Don't just sit there and take it, Don't just sit there like that, okay? Because he could still potentially damage a lot of your arm. And if he gets lucky, he can slip in there and hit you right in the ear. Once your ear starts bleeding, once your eardrum busts, then that'll throw off your equilibrium, and then you'll just be done for. You won't know where you are or what you're doing, okay? So, let me see, I went over that. Let's look at head movement, okay? It's very imperative, it's very imperative to use your head movement. Why? Because it keeps you unpredictable, as I said before. Okay. Now, if you got that guy that just likes to throw these quick punches and he loves to throw these hooks and everything like that, as long as you're moving your head and keeping your hands up, then basically what you're doing is making it more difficult for you to be hit. A moving target is harder to hit. Okay, that goes for the aspect of firearms or target practicing, and it goes for sports as well. Okay, and it goes for self-defense. Okay, so the head is typically what most people are going to aim for because they know that's the knockout point. That's the thing that knocks most people out. Okay, now you do have some body shots, you do have some leg kicks and everything like that that actually take a person down. It won't knock them out, but it will take them out of the fight. Okay, but typically what you can expect is most people going for the head. All right. So if you got that one person that's throwing the jab, right, you just want to slip to the outside. Okay, the reason why I'm saying that is because it gives you a chance to strike back. Okay, so if he throws that jab and he's coming right there, I could come to the body and boom, right, hit him right there. Now, if he's not trained, like he's trained in Taekwondo, he's a black belt in Taekwondo. If he hasn't trained his body to take body shots, then a lot of times they will fall. Okay, if you hit somebody right there in the diaphragm, if you hit him back in the, I think that's the kidney area, liver, something like that. Yeah, that's the kidney area. If you hit them back there in the kidney, usually they react like a second later, but that's what you're hoping for. All right. So it's the same thing if they're throwing the left. So you slipping down here. Okay, basically it's not really a big head movement. So when they throw that left, then you just slipping probably, I want to say probably 6 inches. Okay, when you're down here, then you're coming right there to the body. Okay. Now, the head movement is very imperative because it makes you a harder target to hit. It's just simple, plain. You could do the same thing with hooks. Just simply dipping down low. So if he throws a hook, then he's, we're coming down here. Okay. You can do that with the straight or the hook, so it really doesn't matter. Okay. So if you're throwing a hook, then you can come down here, okay, and then you'll be able to move out the way. Okay. Typically, when they throw the right hook, I like to move to their right side. If they throw the left hook, I like to move to their left side, okay, because it gives me a chance to hit them probably twice before they even actually get the chance to turn around. All right. Let me see. So we got the head movement, the blocks, and then we're going to work on the footwork as well. Okay. Now, let's say he and I get into an altercation. Okay. It's not smart to just stand there. Okay. I know that's how they teach you to start off with boxing, right? You just shoulders width apart, left foot forward or right foot forward, slight bend in the knees. Your body is leaning forward very slightly. Your hands are tucked up by your face and your body is protected by your elbows, okay? Now, they're going to tell you to stay on your toes so that it's easier to move and everything like that. Okay, cool, great. But if you learn how to use your feet, then that can help alleviate a lot of punishment that you might possibly take at, compared to you just sitting there, okay? So you don't want to go down that route. You just want to be able to move, okay? You don't have to have footwork like Vasil Lomachenko. You don't have to have footwork like Mike Tyson or Roy Jones Jr. You just want to be able to move out the way, okay? So that's one of the things that you really want to learn how to work on, okay? So if he and I are going at it and we're just going back and forth and I just want to slip, right? I want to be able to stay out of his range. Okay, if I have to get up close and personal, right, then I want to be able to do that. Okay, if I have to take shots to the body, then I want to be able to do that, okay? Boom, right? If I have to slip around him, I want to be able to do that, okay? Now, when you're using your footwork, you always want to keep in mind that you want to move your head as well, okay? So while you throwing those punches, boom, boom, you want to be able to slip and move around to the other side, okay? If you throw some hooks, boom, right? Even if you miss, then what I want you to do is continue to move about, okay? I want you to roll up under those punches, okay? Roll as though he's about to throw a punch, okay? Because as soon as you move that head, he might throw a punch, but he's gonna completely miss, and you all the way over here, okay? So if he throws a right hook, then I'm over here, right? While he's trying to recollect himself, I'm already on his bumper, okay? I done threw that jab because his right hook is way over here, okay? Now, typically what boxers know how to do is they know how to throw a punch and block at the same time, okay? I'm not talking about with their offhand that they're not punching with. I'm talking about with their shoulder. So if they throw that hook, they already have that shoulder up there to block, okay? But remember, that shoulder can only go up but so high, okay? So they have the top half of the head wide open, okay? It's the same thing with a jab. So if you throw that jab, boom, and that shoulder is right there above that, on the bottom half of that head, okay? If you throw an uppercut, right, boom, you still got that shoulder blocking the bottom half of your face, okay? So that's typically the three things that I would jump into as far as the defensive aspect of it, okay? I encourage everybody to try to grab a training partner, sparring partner, not really going full-fledged, but just trying to practice certain drills, practice blocking and rolling off of those punches, right, on both sides. Do 5 each time, okay? Boom, 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 all right? You want to learn how to parry each time, okay? For my beginners, you can do this 5 times. If you get somebody that throws slow punches, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And every time that they throw that jab, block it off. Boom, 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 boom. All right? Same thing with the straight. Every time that they throw it, boom, 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 boom. All right? You want to do those exercises 5 times. Practice moving around your opponent, okay? Have them stand in a very specific space with the boxing stance, because they're not going to be standing like this, okay? So you have to learn how to move around the legs. The stance is going to be a little bit wider. You have to learn how to actually move around the leg, okay? The direction that you move first is the foot that's going to move first, okay? The foot that's closest to that direction that you're moving. So if you're moving forward and you have your lead foot, then that lead foot should move first, okay? So it's automatically going to move first this way, that way. It really doesn't matter, okay? So if you want to practice swinging around, okay? Now you're not hopping into it, okay? You're stepping and sliding, okay? So you're just typically stepping and then sliding. You're swinging your body around, okay? And remember to keep it in that head movement, okay? You just want to keep practicing over and over again. Those drills will try to help you keep in shape, all right? So usually, those are like body weight exercises, okay? Now, it's not really tiring to keep blocking off those punches and everything like that. You just basically flicking those punches off, just swatting them away like flies, like mosquitoes, okay? All right. Now, the head movement, you try a few of those. You can pull, swing under, okay, and bob, all right? Bob and weave, that's all you want to do, okay? So you're pulling every time they throw that jab, pull, okay? Now don't drop your hand, I'm just showing y'all exactly what to do. Bend in your knees, pull, weave, okay, and bob, boom, and come under with it in a U shape. If you watch my head, it's going in a U shape, boom, boom, and that'll help you keep up with your balance. That'll work on your legs, more specifically your calf muscles, because you're gonna want to stay on your toes. Okay, so you're gonna boom, 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 boom. All right. You always want to keep your knees bent. Keep yourself at a nice balanced stance. Don't make it too complicated. Don't make it too complex. Okay. You don't want to tire yourself out too much. All right. So this is your boy, the Art King. I'm gonna continue to make more videos. The next video I make will be on the offensive aspect of boxing. Okay, I want to be able to show you guys exactly what the professionals learn, where they start off. They start from the very bottom and they work their way up. The reason why a lot of them are so great is because of them sticking to the basic fundamentals of boxing. Okay, never forget the basic fundamentals. Those are the things that help a lot of people win matches, win street fights, and that's typically what allows most people to go home. Okay, just sticking to basic fundamentals, learning your body, learning your speed, your power, your reach. Okay, that's what you want. A lot of people. That's what you want to learn. Okay, you can make it through a lot of street fights. You can make it through a lot of competition boxing matches if you stick to basic fundamentals of offense and defense. Okay, this is your boy, the Art King. I'm out.